couple of days ago, my family was having a birthday party. At this party, there was a lot of sugar and carbs, which, if you don't already know, are very unhealthy for you and destroy your focus. Now, I don't know the science behind it, but basically they cause a lot of inflammation and they turn you into a brain dead zombie. That was a very big mistake. My stomach felt bloated almost immediately and my focus evaporated. I literally could not think straight, and the feeling genuinely reminded me of how it felt to smoke weed. After the party was over, I tried to get some work done, and it just wasn't happening. The rest of my day was wasted. You're probably wondering why I'm telling you this, and for good reason. There's a lot of people out there who are pretending to be some sort of perfect being who's never made a mistake once in their life, and I don't want to be seen like that. And also because it relates to the topic of this video, the lessons I learned this week. Lesson 1, your diet has a big impact on your productivity. As you can probably tell, this lesson comes from the story in the beginning. I'd always heard people like Hamza and Iman talk about the importance of your diet, but I never really understood it until then. It's hard to explain, so let's do an experiment. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, completely fasted, get a book out and start reading. Then after about 5 or 10 minutes of reading, go eat some oats or some bread or just any sort of carb, and then go back to reading. In about 5 minutes, you should start noticing that you have to go back and read some lines. You can't retain the information that you've just gained. Now, if you've done that experiment, you should have a good personal understanding of just how much bad foods like carbs and sugars affect your productivity. They completely sap your focus and they destroy any ability you have to do hard work. Now, I'm no scientist, but from what I understand, the best solution to this is to minimize and cut them out. From what I've heard, the best diet to do this is the carnivore diet, because you're strictly eating stuff like meat, stuff like eggs, stuff like butter, cheese. But I can't speak too much on that because I don't have personal experience in that area, and I probably won't have that for the foreseeable future. But something I've realized is the saying "you are what you eat" holds a lot of truth to it. Only put food in your body that you know for a fact is healthy for you. No sugars, no cakes, none of that. Just healthy food.
Sorry about the change in scenery. My family came back, so I had to get back into my room. But anyway, let's get back into it. Lesson 2, don't have a complicated routine. Back when I first got into self-improvement, one of the first things I did was actually make a daily routine for myself. It was a rough one on the iPhone app, you know, like how Hamza showed it back in his videos in 2023. But it didn't really go how I wanted it to. I didn't follow the routine at all, and I did barely any of the tasks on there. So at the end of the day, I just deleted it, and I focused on doing a couple key habits like meditation and journaling. Well, the cycle repeated itself up until a couple months ago when I decided to abandon routines altogether and just focus on a task list instead. But this week I thought of the idea that the reason I couldn't follow the routines was because they were too complicated. They had too many like mini tasks that I had to do at any given time. And there were just so many that I couldn't keep up. So my brain just overloaded and I couldn't actually follow the routine. So now I'm trying a different tactic when I have just a couple of big tasks like an hour and a half block of scripting, an hour and a half block of recording, an hour and a half block of editing, stuff like that, instead of like all of the mini tasks. So I know exactly what I have to do at exactly what time, and there's not so many that it just overloads my brain and stops me from following the routine. And I really can feel how much better this routine is for myself, because I'm not just frantically checking my phone to see whether I'm still on routine or not and seeing what I have to do, because I already know. Like, there's just so little tasks that I have to do that I just remember all of them. I can just memorize them. So make your routine quick and simple. Don't overcomplicate it. There's nothing productive about having millions of tasks to do every single day. Lesson 3, minimize your inputs. So I'm going to give a quick analogy from Hamza in this one. Most people are learning from multiple different creators all at once, with all of them saying the same things about different things about the same topic. And all of this information from all of these different people that conflict with one another, they create confusion in your mind. And that causes you to keep switching between who to believe and who not to believe, what information you follow and what information you disregard. And that ultimately ends up with you not making any progress. And I was like this up until a couple days ago, like very recently. I wasn't constantly switching business models, but I was constantly listening to different people talk about the same thing with different ideas. I was listening to Iman talk about how agency is the best business model, Tate talking about copywriting and all of that stuff in the real world, and Hamza talking about YouTube and coaching, which confused the hell out of me. But now I've just picked one business, coaching. If you want to learn more, there's a link in the description. And I've minimized all of the input from different sides of the business coin. So I'm only focused on one thing, which is coaching. I'm only learning about coaching and nothing else. So I don't get the desire to switch like everyone else. But yeah, when you allow information from all of these different people that conflicts into your mind at the same time, it creates a lot of conflict and chaos and stops you from thinking straight. The best thing to do is to just stick with one thing like I have and cut out all the noise. There's no need for you to be listening to like 15 different creators on money, YouTube, or whatever it is. But anyway, that's all I have for today. If you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe. It helps my videos reach more people and it pushes me to create better content for all of you. And I know the work is hard and the progress is slow, but you only lose when you give up.